What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel. Now today we are going to be adding yet another page to our competitive decks, and today we are going to talk about a really cool mon actually, and his name is Arctozolt. Now, if you didn't know, Arctozolt is one of the cool fossils we got this generation, and his counterpart, at least his Zolt counterpart, recently just got banned from UU, and he is now in BL with Halucha. And not gonna say that I called it, but I definitely called it. I also don't see Dracozolt staying in UU. I see it going BL pretty quickly. But yeah, I think that it was meant to be. I don't think that thing was ever gonna stay in UU, just with how hard Bolt Beak hits. But so today I felt that it would be really cool to talk about his counterpart here today. So what makes this different from Dracozolt? So the big thing to think about with these fossils are their stats are determined by their bottom half, and their special attack, their signature attack, is determined by the head. And so this one obviously has the Zolt head, so it has Bolt Beak, and it has the Arcto bottom half, and so its stats are a lot slower but a little bit bulkier. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. And obviously, you know, looking through the tiers, both of our Dracos are at lowest BL, and then both of our Arctos are both in NU. So as you can see, it's a little bit better to be the fast and more offensive version, but that does not mean that these things are not any good. And especially in the NU tier, I think these things are going to be absolutely terrifying. So let's go ahead and talk about that today. So this first set is an offensive life orb set. Just 4 attacks, but you're able to switch your moves around. And we're running max bulk here with max HP, almost just to keep us with an odd number HP, just so that we take less damage from stealth rocks, and then max attack with a brave nature, lowering that speed. Now, you obviously can run speed on this. You could run Jolly with some speed on it to outspeed a few things, but being base 55 speed, you're not going to outspeed a lot of things, and so it's really not all that useful. And so I am running a 0 speed IV on this, and that would just be for Trick Room. You don't have to run 0 if you're not running Trick Room. You could just run the 31. You also could run more speed on this. You could run a nature that has minus your special defense rather than your speed. That way you have a little bit more of your speed back. But obviously that's up to you. But Bolt Beak here is obviously there for if you're running up against something in Trick Room. So you want to be faster than your opponent, so in Trick Room you are going to be. And then you've got Icicle Crash, because electric and ice is actually nearly perfect coverage. It's actually fantastic coverage if we're being honest. You've always heard of the Bolt Beam sets. Those have always been super popular, and it's because just ice and electric are really good coverage. So really good offensive typing, not that great defensive, but that's okay. Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry is essential. Even though it's a special attack on a physical attacker, it is absolutely essential for you to run it, and that is for things such as Ludicolo, for other water types that would want to switch in. If you're running an OU, it's there for Seismitoad, Gastrodon, all of those things. Yeah, Freeze Dry does a huge chunk to any of those mons that want to switch in on this. And yeah, it just completely destroys them. So that's why you carry that. It's basically essential. And then Stomping Tantrum here is just for coverage. You obviously could run some other different moves. One move that I kind of think would be cool is to run Body Slam, and the reason is because you're not only doing damage, but you also could paralyze your target and then follow up with a Bolt Beak. That obviously would be a set that has speed on it rather than a brave nature. You could also run Facade so that you can eat certain status conditions. I also think Low Kick is pretty good. Being able to hit steel types is really nice, but Stomping Tantrum also does that. Let's see. You also could run Stone Edge, is also a great move for coverage. Let's see. Some people also run other special moves on this set, just in order to hit things like Avalug if you're running it in higher tiers. I typically don't do that. I typically want to run the 3 physical moves plus freeze dry, but obviously that's just my preference. So moving on, let's go to a banded set. So same moves, as you can see, same EV spread, but we're just with a choice band. This is going to boost your power significantly, and coming off a base 100 attack with a choice band, and if you are going to be faster in Trick Room with this Bolt Beak, yeah, there's not much that's going to take that. There's not much that's not 2-hit KO'd by that, and under Trick Room, you're going to 2-hit KO whatever you want. Yeah, this thing is actually pretty scary, to be honest. So I don't really need to explain it too much because it basically does the same thing as the last set. You just hit a little bit harder, but you can't change moves. So yeah, freeze dry, you still want to carry freeze dry even though you're banded just for the coverage. Otherwise you are completely walled by several things. All right, we've got a choice scarf set. Now, choice scarf is an interesting set, but I think it actually could work. So him being only base 55 speed, he needs the speed boost, right? So with a scarf, you are going to outspeed things that are base 106 that are jolly or timid, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of things that fall under that, things like Obstagoon. Those are base 95. There are a lot of things at base 95. Other fossils are base 85. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you will outspeed with that. And if they are adamant, it's base like 121 or something like that you outspeed, which is pretty cool. That's an adamant Cinderace that you can hit with a Stomping Tantrum or a Bolt Beak. Yeah, it's pretty nutty. Also falling into that, base 88 being Excadrill. You have Mimikyu, you've got Haxorus, you've got all these things that are big offensive threats that you will actually outspeed with a Scarf. And so yeah, it's actually pretty cool to bring a Scarfed Arctozolt. It actually can do some work against some things not expecting it to be Scarfed. Now the next set we're going to look at is actually a substitute set. Now sub lefties I think is a really awesome option for this, especially running T-Wave. So you've just got your Bolt Beak and Icicle Crash for coverage, but I do think that this is going to be really nice. You come in on something and you threaten it out, and something that just can't do much to you, and you just sub up on it, then you can T-Wave it, and now you're faster hitting it with that double power Bolt Beak, and it is not going to appreciate that. Do keep in mind that Thunder Wave and Paralysis in general has been nerfed, so it is only half speed rather than quarter speed like what it used to be. But still, something at half speed is still pretty nice, especially since we are going to want to run speed on this set. Now, I have seen people run something like Metronome on a set like this, and that can be super powerful, but you also have to make sure that you have like really gotten set up. Also, Arctozolt really appreciates Sticky Web, and there are several Sticky Web users in the NU tier, things like Shuckle, Vikavolt. Let's see, what else? I think Slurpuff gets it, but Slurpuff will rise very soon. Once it gets Belly Drum back through transfer through home, yeah, that thing's going to come back up to at least, I would say, RU or UU. But, you know, for now, in NU, I think that it could be a really good Sticky Webber. But yeah, Orbeetle as well. Orbeetle is currently in NU. So I think that will be a really cool tech to run this with webs, as well as Arctovish. Arctovish also appreciates webs. So then the last set, of course, our meme always comes last. And this is an offensive T-Wave set. So I think that this actually is pretty cool. I think that you could definitely run this to some success. So something switches out, or even whatever you're in on, you go ahead and go for the T-Wave and just start hitting it. Now we have Stomping Tantrum back just for coverage. Obviously you could switch this out for Freeze Dry. I kind of like Freeze Dry here better, to be honest, so I'm going to switch that on the fly. But yeah, I like Freeze Dry better here. But yeah, I think that this set could actually be kind of viable, just because, you know, you have that T-Wave to slow things down, and then you're boosting yourself up with Life Orb. I think it's nice. I think this set actually could work, and I think it's actually worth a shot. So anyway, guys, that is going to be all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, I appreciate you guys so much for coming to the channel and checking it out. I really appreciate it. And anyway, guys, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.